Hey there, you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is time for Get the 411 on the 321, our little weekly episode 4. We are excited, the 321 Home Team Expert, to bring you this week's session. So it's a little bit different format. We're going to be a little bit more casual this week and kind of just do some chit-chatting because we realize we actually haven't really gotten a chance to let you guys get to know each of us. And so as you can see, we have a four-legged friend joining us tonight. So I'm going to let Jerry introduce his new friend.
So I figured I'd show you a better look this week, instead of my face. Meet Drax, everybody. Drax is a new foster pup for me. Probably going to be a permanent fixture. It looks like are we still streaming, everybody here?
Yeah, it's just
yeah, you broke up for a second.
A little bit, but
yeah, your video is locked up. We can just see Drax.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing to Drax is a new foster pup for me. He's going to come live with me on the boat. He came from Aloha Adoptions and Aloha Pet and Bird Animal Hospital out in on the beach side. It looks like we lost him. Jamie, are you with us too?
Yeah, I'm with us. Amy just took off.
I'm here. I know Aloha Pet Hospital.
Yeah, you're close to it, aren't you?
Yep.
So Drax is a Shar-Pei pit mix. Super sweet, super. He's a lover, that's for sure. He's about a year old. They're not entirely sure how old, but he was. He came from the streets. He was found on the streets. Didn't have a home, but just fitting right in. He's a great little dog. So
when you're a foster dog,
I'm excited to. Right now, we just got him today, so he hasn't even been to the boat yet. So I'm excited for him to really get into that lifestyle and start doing some boating and enjoying that. So he's still a pup, so he's bouncing around. I can't tell if Jamie looks locked.
I'm here.
No,
Jamie, are you there?
Yeah, everybody's there.
But Jerry, I have a question.
Oh, my video is locked, I guess. I can't.
We can hear you, so it's all good. And we can see you, so it's all good.
Yeah. Well, really, it's important to see Drax. So I picked Drax, by the way. And here's that segue. You ready? I always come up with a corny segue. Usually I'm wearing something funny. So I picked Drax because Drax is really strong and brave but he's a little goofy. He's a little off. Kind of like my favorite spaceman character, Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. Mm-hmm. He acts a little bit like that, a little off, a little goofy, but very strong. Hey, speaking of spacemen, guess what we are 1 week away from?
Launch. Isn't
that great?
Yes.
I know that's exciting on the Space Coast. I was just looking up some of the stuff, and I don't know if anybody really knows much about kind of the history of this, but this will be the first time we're going to space from the United States with people on board to the International Space Station. We've been relying on Russia to bring our people back and forth, our astronauts, which has cost our taxpayers a huge amount. So this is going to be a really big deal for us, and that's next week at 4:33 p.m. on Wednesday. And the really neat thing about it, I was looking up the astronauts just to kind of get an idea. And one of them is Douglas Hurley. He's a colonel in the Marine Corps. And the other one is Robert Benkin, who's a colonel in the Air Force. Both of them are seasoned astronauts. They've both flown on shuttle missions. But as I dug a little deeper, they both met their spouses in the astronaut training corps. So they're both married to astronauts who have flown on shuttles, have flown shuttle missions. So it was really cute to read some of this. They have kids that are elementary school and how they've had to, throughout the years kind of balance their their space missions with their parenting missions. We think we have it bad trying to figure out who's going to go to the grocery store, but when one is in space, what do you do then? I thought that was kind of funny. So real excited about that too. But yeah, back to Drax. I'm going to let him go run around a little bit because he's getting a little antsy. He really is good, but he came from Aloha, like I was saying earlier, Aloha Pet. And Amy, you have some experience with Aloha adoptions too, don't you?
I do. Our Nala came from there, as well as our cat. Aloha is great just because they stay connected, not just when you go in, but in communication, chats and texting and things. You can ask questions all the time. They're really good to be on the spot answering. One of the things I like the best about adopting from them is they make sure that the dog, cat, whatever you're adopting is ready to go. They will not let it come to your home, even to foster, if it's not in a condition that's conducive to the environment, that you're not prepared to handle, and that the pet animal is very healthy. So we have had great experiences with ours, and everything seems to be just in order with Mr. Drax.
One last little thing about Aloha, I'll throw it in there, is there might be this really amazing, just phenomenal vet tech that works there too.
That's my friend, Brittany. Yeah.
Her name is Brittany, yeah. And her last name might be Frulio, so they're good, but don't pay attention to that because I don't want you to think there's any bias in that. But
my friend.
Can I just ask you a question? I've been wanting to ask this. So when you say foster parent, that usually means to me that you're temporarily taking care of that dog and that dog will be up for adoption. Is that correct?
You can foster or you can foster with intent. That's kind of where I am right now. He's fostered with intent to adopt. Really, he did have some major issues that we have to keep an eye on, and he's really getting a lot healthier.
Well, what does that mean though? Does that mean that you are adopting him?
Yes. Yeah, he's gonna be my boy. He's gonna be my boy.
All right, because the adopted ones are the best ones.
What's that?
The adopted ones are always the best ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The homegirl here was adopted, and I'm just saying the adopted ones are always the best ones. So, yeah, that's awesome. Super sweet. I used to go to Aloha when I lived Beachside. It's a great clinic. Plus, it's fun. It's like fun environment,
And it means hello in Hawaii.
And goodbye, I think too, doesn't it?
And goodbye. Very good.
That's right. It does. So for anybody who's new, looking for a pet source for a veterinarian clinic or, supplies, and they don't just do like dogs and cats. They do like birds and the whole nine.
Everything.
Not all the vets do that. Like they do all kinds of animals.
They also work for Pilots for Paws, which is where Nala was brought in from with that organization to them. So,
and they're located on A1A. Well, almost on it. They're on O'Galley Causeway.
Yeah,
close
to A1A.
For anybody who's looking for one, because they are a great source for sure. I probably could.
Right across the street from what is it, Texas Roadhouse now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what have you guys
right around the corner from the Fat Donkey?
What have you guys been up to? Like, let's see. I don't know how many days it's been. Like, I guess we officially went on quarantine or lockdown, March 17th, was it? I was thinking that because it was like St. Patrick's Day. Is that about the right time? So what has everybody been doing? Because this is just us. So we're kind of like having a conversation with just us because we usually have guests on. So what have you guys been doing? Because I think everybody's been affected, of course, on the shutdown. Right now we're starting to open a little bit. Things are happening. But what has everybody been doing? Eric's with mortgages. The three of us are realtors. Like, how has our business been affected, and what have we been doing with our time that we may have had a little extra time with? What do you guys want to do?
It's funny because sometimes you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah.
I didn't really realize just how much I enjoy open houses. I knew I liked them before, but I'm ready to go. Whenever anything's available, we'll partner up or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get out there. The one that I did with you, just a breath of fresh air. Like the truth.
It's fun to get out of your home.
Yes.
Well, you and I, we've been doing classes too. I know I took, I think 4 different designations and certifications over the downtime. I'm working on I got all the schooling done for my CIPS, which is the Certified International Property Specialist. My SRS, which is my sales realtor specialist, and then with you, Amy, we did the SERS, which is a senior real estate specialist, which is really great. We're both actually that's done that designation,
right?
And then we have
short sale and foreclosure.
Short sale and foreclosure, which I did that sort of like as a precautionary thing, just in case, because you read so much stuff, right, in the news. I mean, there's all this crap in the news that you're like, I don't know, that you hear it so much that maybe it's true if you hear it so much. Like this is going to be another 2008 situation, and and I found myself. I thought, well, I think it was a free class or $15, so we took it just in case. But I remember I was telling you that I hope I don't have. I really don't want to do any of these. I hope we don't have to do any of these. And I honestly don't think we're going to have to do very many of them. Certainly not foreclosures. There may be a few short sales, but honestly, I don't even think we're going to use it. I mean, we've got it.
No, I don't. Yeah,
I don't think we have to use it.
Well, the knowledge was great. There was a ton of it. If it comes along, but no, I don't think it's going to be anything.
I don't think.
Well, quite the opposite. We need inventory. If anyone's watching this and you're thinking of selling, contact anybody on this.
Yeah.
We need inventory really bad. I have buyers that are considering going back into renting that are full qualified because they can't find homes. We need inventory bad. So.
It's true. I have a listing that has an offer that they're under contract, and we've got backup offers. I mean, it's like multiple offers. You're like, it's not funny. There's millions. There's tons of buyers, and we don't have properties. So
it's a sad state of affairs looking at what's available. I'm sure you see it more. I only look at a few zip codes, but there's just nothing available. But I mean, I have people approved in all different price ranges, and I'm not kidding. Some of them are so excited, and they started looking, and now some of those are considering just renting for the time being. Your lease comes up, and you can't find a place. What are you going to do? Renew your lease. So if you have a place to sell, you're considering selling, and you're thinking about waiting, don't wait. You have plenty of people out there qualified that's looking to buy. So
and the sellers, the prices are not lowered. We actually saw an increase in the homes that are selling, the prices of the homes that are selling. So it's not like there's a downturn. A lot of people like to compare the stock market to the real estate market, and I kind of did a little history lesson. I'll share with you guys just real quick. I was watching Brian Buffini, who I love, who is, if you don't know, most people in real estate know who he is. He's an Irish immigrant and just a fantastic Buffini and Company. He has a podcast. He's super great. I love him. No matter what business you're in, you can learn something from him. Anyway, he was talking to NAR, National Association of Realtors, and he did this really great talk and kind of threw some history in with it, because we get so much noise in the media, don't we? In fact, I posted a thing. If you follow me on anything, last week my daughter started getting Time magazine delivered to my house. I don't read it, but she started having it. And the cover on last week's was, "These are Great Depression times," or something like that, comparing us to the Great Depression. And I was projecting and not projecting what we were going to have, this Great Depression, which is so like enormously catastrophically horrible, because all of us, our generation, we read about that in a history book. We didn't actually experience it. My dad experienced it as a little kid, like a little kid, but we didn't experience it. We read about it, and you see the pictures and how horrible, no shoes and holes and waiting an long line just for a piece of bread, and
cheese.
Right. So
cheese.
This week I got this one. This is the new one. let's see, there's a right way to reopen America, and this isn't it. And then this is a picture. And this is not a political show at all. But I'm like, I thought magazines and stuff like this were supposed to be like neutral, like just presenting, like facts. And so Brian's talk was so good. And I just want to share a little bit of it with you guys because I actually watched it 2 times now because it was just, to me, really great. So he says, fear without facts is fiction. Okay. And so this to me is the shock and awe, right? Sell magazines, shock and awe. And unfortunately, our news has become ratings and money driven. And a lot of it is shock and awe. And, we all have a brain that God gave us, and we can research and look to where the sources are to really discern what's going on. So the word unprecedented is used tons right now. Unprecedented times, right?
Are you saying shock and awe or Shaka Khan?
Yeah, right. Shaka Khan.
Okay.
Yeah, you just aged yourself right there. That's okay, because I'm right there with you. Okay, so unprecedented, that word, super scary and used all the time. And then what Brian did was he went over some history. And so he picked 3 events. And honestly, there's a lot of them that we could go through, but we'll just start back with World War I. Okay. So World War I, 40 million people died in World War I. It lasted for 4 years. And then right as we were coming out of World War I, the Spanish flu hit. So we have had lots of comparisons with this coronavirus and the Spanish flu and how we need to take precautions so we don't have another Spanish flu, because this is as terrible as the Spanish flu, and how it can spread like the Spanish flu, and 50 million people died in the Spanish flu, right? And we all, we're like, oh my gosh, we do not want this to happen. Well, and I think it was smart. We did have to kind of we didn't know, right? You don't know. And time gives you some perspective, right? Some time gives you perspective to see what the numbers really are and what's really going on. Well, I just looked it up right before we were just chatting before we went live to look up to see the latest numbers. This is worldwide for the coronavirus. Total deaths worldwide are 328,000. 50 million people died with the Spanish flu. So when you compare those two, we know 50 million died. That seems like this horrendously scary thing. Now, let me just simply say, if you have a loved one that's passed from this, it's real, it's horrible, and I'm not at all making light of that.
Right.
Okay,
right.
So it's a real thing, and it absolutely kills some people, and for sure. So please hear my heart. This is not, it's a cold thing. I'm not saying that. Right. But perspective, when you're comparing catastrophic things to the real where we are today, there is no comparison of those two. Zero comparison. And it's not fair to people, especially in society today, because we don't remember. We didn't live through the Spanish flu time, right? We read about it in the history books. So there is that. And then as you look over any kind of history, anytime you have major tragedy, then you have this big boom, right? This big building boom. So right after the Spanish flu, we had the Roaring 20s. Huge decade of tremendous, growth and boom and prosperity going. Everything was good, right? And then what happened? The stock market, the Great Depression, right? The Great Depression hit. And the Great Depression, I think, was a period of 7 years. So we always talk about that. Was it Black Friday is what it's called, that one day? But it actually was a 7-year period where we got to 25% unemployment over 7 years. And so just last week, Time Magazine compared today to the Great Depression, because I think at that time we were up around 22% unemployment or whatever, and it was comparing that. But the difference between that and here are a couple of big things. Number one, it was 75 days is how we got to 20-something%, not 7 years, okay? Let's bring Jerry back in. I think he let his money go. Okay, so there's that. But also the GDP was in the billions, like 100-something billion, and it was 11% decrease of the GDP, right? Whereas today we're in the trillions, and it's a 5%. So those two pieces of the pie, the percentage of everything, are vastly different. Vastly different. You cannot compare the two. In fact, he was even saying that and on record today, the highest unemployment in a week was 625,000 people applied for unemployment before this happened. And during these 25 days, we've been averaging 5.5 million people applying for unemployment. So it's not over time. So what you have to look at is this is not a result of an economic failure, a result of a financial crisis, a result of a real estate crisis. It's not a result of any of those things. It's an outside force. So as things open up, the prediction is third quarter. Third quarter is the quarter that everything's bouncing back 20%, 17, 20, 25%, and that the unemployment will come back in chunks, not trickling back, but come back in chunks as we reopen and reemploy, which means everything will come back more quickly, like that check mark or the Nike swish. Not a very slow, gentle curve back, but like a fairly significant curve back. And so that's kind of what people they really need to look at the apples and not the shock and the awe, because the shock and the awe, you can't say, well, in the past, well, we've never had this in the past. This is not the Spanish flu. But they want to tell you that it's the Spanish flu. Does that make sense? Y'all with me on this? Yes. Okay.
Spanish flu. It's not HIV. It's not an STD. It's something all onto itself. But yes, coming back, getting back to work. That's the thing. Well,
Erik, I'm gonna bring this up because this is your spot. So this is what I want to tell you because this was really great. So then there's the third one that he went over was the Great Recession, the 2008 that thing, right, which is your area. So this was really important too because it was.
Cause it.
Well, that's it, but I mean, this is your kind of like part of your niche. But they were talking about, life was good, things were going, people were working, money was being spent, and then all of a sudden, the equity loans started happening, the home equity loans. People were taking equity out of their houses, right, and buying more goods and services and buying cars, and so like in 2000, the year 2000, $26 billion was taken out of people's homes to buy things. Cars, and then eventually started buying second homes with their home equity, right? So listen to the increase of this. So in 2000, it was 26 billion. 2004, it jumped to 139 billion. 1 year later, it jumped to 450 billion. And by 2006, it was 620 billion. So in 6 years, it went from 26 billion to 620 billion. People pulling equity out of their homes and getting all these false things. So, but this is what he said, which was such a great phrase. He said, we're spending money that we don't have, things that we don't need to impress people we don't know.
I'm going to run that spreadsheet tomorrow.
So, yeah. So, and that was exactly what was going on. They were just getting more equity, and then they were getting loan to value was over 100% on their loans. And then what he said was, this was really great. He said, so then the rules flat. There was no qualification for loans. There was no verification for loans. And then he said that the banking centers were very low. And then he said there was this thing called derivatives. I'm not going to pretend to understand derivatives with the stock market at all. But that was another thing. So then the stock market got involved. And then the collapse was set up. It was this perfect setup for collapse. We had a surplus. People were buying second, third homes, flipping them. Surplus of homes, which where are we at today? We are in dire need of homes. We are the complete opposite of a surplus, right? And now, are you able to get a loan really easy, Erik? I mean, is it just like everything? You don't have to have a job. You don't have to have.
As long as you have a pulse, I do ninja loans. No income, no job, no assets. You come see me. You got a pulse. I'll get you a loan. Okay. We can even get your ceiling painted as part of that too, if you talk to me.
Yeah, but you do need to have verification. My point is, you didn't have back then. They were throwing everything out the window.
That was true back then. Yeah,
right.
It really was no income, no job, no assets. But yes, you have to properly qualify.
But that's not today.
Yeah, today it's about your ability to repay. And everything you said right there, of everything that you said, of all that, and all that makes perfect sense. But the one that jumps out at me, and we talked about this on a previous episode, is that you don't have to be a Keynesian economist to look at the numbers. It was demand issue. Okay, there was no demand. There weren't people there to buy those houses at that time. right now with Gen Zers and millennials, right now there is a huge demand over the next decade and then some. So yes, if you're waiting for this distress sale in the market to tank or anything like that, good luck. Especially in Brevard County. I mean, don't get me going on everything that we got going for us here in Brevard County.
You're right.
It's an undervalued market.
It's super undervalued. And here's the thing: just 75 days ago, we'll just say it might not be exactly 75, it might be 80 or whatever. But we were in we had gone through a 10-year bounce back from that recession. Okay. And so just at the end of February, there was 3.5% unemployment. The Dow Jones was at the all-time high of 29,551. The GDP was up 3.1%, and home sales were the highest they had been in 13 years. Okay. Just 75 days ago. So you can't tell me that all of a sudden everything is in the tank and we're hitting another recession, because that just isn't happening. That's not happening. The demand is
our prices were rising. We had little inventory. Now we have less inventory, and our prices are still rising. So that's where we're at.
So for everybody who, I've had a couple clients, they're worried. They're a little nervous about getting a fixer-upper or getting money what seems like a good price, but really, is it a good price right now? Because, they think that the market's going to go down maybe. And I'm like, it's not going down. It's definitely a good price. There is not enough homes for people to buy. I think, do you know what our inventory level is? Is it 2.6, 2.7 right now, Jerry? Do you know?
Put them on the spot.
I would have to look it up. I don't know what it is right now.
I know this. It's low.
Yeah, I don't even think it's at 3. And what that means to people, just so you guys know what that means, because I didn't know what that means until I became a realtor, is what that means is if we didn't take another listing, in 3 months' time, we won't have anything else to sell. Every single listing will be sold. That in 3 months' time, it's gone.
There's nothing out there.
Is the magic number. Just in case anybody's wondering, 6 months of inventory is the magic number where things shift from a buyer's market to a seller's market.
Good factoid.
So that's
interesting factoid.
Yeah,
we are not there. I can tell you that.
No, not anywhere near it. So, and of course, people's equity. Remember, we had that fact. What is it? How many percent people have more than 50% equity in their home right now?
I actually think I have that written down over here somewhere.
Yeah, super high percentage of people, and nobody's suggesting you take that out and buy another house. I mean, you could, but that's not what we're talking about. We're just talking about people buying their home. First home.
That's the other reason they're going to continue to pay their mortgage, is because they have so much equity as opposed to a foreclosure.
Yeah, we learned a lot from that question.
Yeah.
As a society, Jerry, you're awfully quiet. What do you look like? You're concentrating hard on something there.
I'm trying to. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I recorded it. So I've been trying to get this thing to messing with my volume control and everything. And I think I might have that's the first thing I heard. But you know what this whole thing has sounded like? Charlie Brown's teacher. I recorded it so I could show you guys later, because it's like the entire time. So I'm sure. You know what, guys? You guys nailed it. Everything you said was dead on accurate.
Thanks, Jerry.
No.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Next time we can just show up and just have our faces. We won't even talk. We'll just.
Yeah.
And then you come in at the end, Jerry, and you're like, "Yeah, that was awesome, guys."
That was perfect. I think I shut down my speakers. I shut down and actually I reconnected. Did I go away for a little while?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I had to reconnect to the internet. It's been.
So what do you guys say to the people that say, well, I'd like to list my house, but I don't want a bunch of people tramping through my house? Like, how can you sell a house if you can't have an open house, or you can't have, how do people sell houses right now? I'd like to sell my house, but I pulled it off the market for this Corona thing to go away, which, by the way, it probably won't. It's really never going to go away. It's not, and they say in the fall it's going to come back, and it probably will have a little bit of a surge because that's what the flu does. That's what those viruses do. So what do you say? What do you guys do with the people that say, how can you sell a house during something like this? How do you do that?
So one of the things that I see and took note of when we were there, Jamie, is when somebody comes into that open house, pretty much we're showcasing the house. So we're walking them through. Most doors are already open unless you're coming from, say, the inside of the house to the pool area or backyard. And we are the ones that are opening the doors for them. We know the inside of that house by the time we show it. Mm-hmm. So you come through with wipes after, and you touch all of the lights, all of the doorknobs. We're the ones that are responsible for keeping that area clean. And other than that, you can have masks available for people, especially we wear them if they feel more comfortable that way. We had everything we needed there to make sure that nothing went from one person to the other. And I think when people see that, they recognize that we take their concerns seriously.
Yeah. And it's not like there's 100 people in the home at the same time either. It's, it's usually an open house is a trickle thing. You know what I mean? You might have one come through, and then it's just like a trickle thing. So, Jerry must be having some trouble with his internet, poor guy. But I've listed 2 houses during COVID, sold 1, and 1 is under contract, all in less than 30 days. So it's the buyers are there, and you're not having to reduce your house price because it's COVID. So, because sometimes people think, oh, this is a bad time, probably I want to get top dollar, so I'm going to pull it off and wait for this to pass. And that's just not, you've heard it from Erik. I talked to Erik in fact, I said, hey, Erik, you should come do this open house with us. And he was like, I can't, man. I'm going to be here forever. I can't. There's so many people applying. It's unbelievable. I can barely keep up with everything.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and so
kind of like that last weekend, but this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. From the moment I woke up, I was approving borrowers, or not approving borrowers, but generally, just getting buyers ready to make offers, and that's why I said I'm literally seeing this. People not finding houses. They're approved. They got money. They got an approval letter from the mortgage firm, ready to go.
That's a beautiful thing.
And literally one of them is maybe not going to purchase. A couple of them are like that, but yeah. And then of course you see your clients do go and make offers and miss out if they're not coming in. And I haven't gotten a lot of that lately because I think you agents have been doing a really good job of letting people know this isn't a market to lowball in. Come in full price, and otherwise you're not going to get it.
Somebody else is going to snatch it.
Somebody's going to snatch it.
Yep, it's true. So, okay. So, do we have any questions? Anybody have any questions out there? Because we're just kind of like, we just thought we would talk about what's going on here in Brevard County a little bit. Okay, I just wanted to pull over here and look at these real quick. I had something I told with my tongue and it just went out the door. I just know I have a couple of buyers I'm going to be showing properties at all weekend long. And because they've been thinking about it, they've been working with Erik, because I will tell you, in case you are one of these people that you're concerned about your credit, you've wanted to own a home, you have been renting for a while, maybe you're just starting a family and you're like, now I want a home. Now I want to buy a home. I don't know how much money I'm supposed to save to get a home. I don't know what I can afford. I don't know all these things. My credit, I had a baby, or I had student loans, or I had whatever. I don't know if I could even get one. Let me just share with you. I had, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 people in the very beginning of the year, January, end of the year, January, and we hooked him up with Erik. And what's special about Erik is he's not about the money of the job. Don't get me wrong, that's a byproduct of it. I'm sure he wouldn't do it for free. He needs to make a living. However, Erik is much more concerned about making sure you're financially healthy, so that when you do make the purchase of a home, that you're buying one that you actually can afford, and showing you the steps that you need to do with your credit and how much money is feasible for you to save to purchase the home of a certain price. So in the home buying process, it's a really great idea to get pre-approved first. And in these cases, these people, their credit, they needed to fix some things first before they even got to the pre-approval phase, right? And what Erik is great at, don't assume you know the area of what you should work on in your credit, okay? Because there are certain areas that don't weigh as much as other areas. And what Erik does is he'll say, okay, if you do this and this, and then don't focus on this right now, but do these two things, you'll jump it up 300 points. You'll jump it up 30 points or whatever. You want to go to Erik and tell him
30, 40.
Yeah, whatever. But you know what I mean? And you can say this might take 6 months or this might take whatever. And you always check in with them to see if they're still on track. Are they still, doing, I'm talking for you right now, Erik, so you can jump in anytime and take over.
No, that's it. I mean, I know we're running low on time and stuff, so I
forgot. I didn't even know it was that time. Sorry, you guys.
Yeah. So I'll keep it short, but yeah, no, everything you said is right. I mean, that's how it works. You gotta, if you're even slightly considering, and you don't wait to the last second before you're prepared to make an offer and thinking that's the time to call for an approval. It's really not. It's right now. So when's the time to get approved now?
Yep. All right. I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize I can talk forever. So I apologize. I did a lot of talking tonight. So anyway, you guys, we will see you next week. And next week is our launch, and it's actually starting at 4:30. So we may actually record an earlier version so you guys can watch it because we'll probably be out on the beach or in a boat somewhere watching the launch. So we're excited. Y'all have a great Post questions if you need it. Make sure you like and share, and so we can get the word out. And thanks for joining us.
Aloha.
Thanks, guys. Bye, y'all.
Aloha.